Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. Today we talk about the Belt and Road with land and sea power. In September 2013, the Chinese government first advocated the Belt and Road Initiative, aiming to promote the economic and trade cooperation among different areas of the world. The belt is the Silk Road economic belt, which starts from China's Xinjiang west forward to Central Asia, Russia, and then reach to the East and Central Europe. That is Poland and Germany. Through the China Railway Express within about 22 days on the way. The road refers to the 21st century maritime Silk Road, start from southeast coast of China, and then via west rim of the Pacific, the Strait of Malacca, Indian Ocean, the Gulf of Persia, Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea, and then arrives to Europe. It can be seen that the route of the Belt and Road almost fit to the scope of the land and sea power theory in the geopolitics. Therefore, some basic introduction is presented here. The Silk Road economic belt starts from China's Xinjiang, then reaches to the East Europe, where it was regarded as Eurasia, the core area or heartland. Eurasia that covers about 50 million square kilometers, the 36% of the total world lands, and 70% of the world population. Plenty of natural resources are here, with more than half of the global petroleum, natural gas, the coal, and metal ores. Eurasia is also the origin of human beings' early civilization. It witnessed the cultural exchanges and the rise and fall of many empires, whether in ancient or modern history. The expansion of the Russian Empire, the rising Germany's challenge to the world orders, all closely connected with international situations. Then the theory was generated that who controls this area of the heartland of the earth, then he can control the whole world island. Who controls the world island, then he can control the whole world. We can see that the world island is the Eurasia, which look like just like an island in the ocean, because it is surrounded from east to the west by the Pacific, Japan, Indian Ocean, Mediterranean, and the UK, and the Atlantic. In the north of Eurasia, it is the Arctic Ocean. For 70% of the Earth is covered by the sea water. The heartland theory was first put forward by the British geographer Harford G. Mackinder in 1904. Mackinder was born in 1861 in the Doctor family. When he grew up, he had studied biology, medicine, law, and then finally chose geography study as his career. His lifetime was just the period of the great time of the British Empire, that is, on which the sun never sets. The British established colonies around the world. Mackinder realized the British challenges comes from the heartland area of Eurasia, from the rising power of Germany and the great potential of Russia. In 1904, he made his conclusion of land power and caught the world's attention. Now we turn to the China's 21st century maritime Silk Road. It is actually China's import and export artery on the sea from the Pacific via Indian Ocean and then to the Atlantic. Traditionally, China is a land power, yet its navy developed very fast, from coast defense to high sea operation. China has routinized its naval escort to the Gulf of Aden. It has obtained 3 carriers, and a nuclear power carrier should be on the way. China is now a power on the land and also a power on the sea. The sea power theory was first stated by American Navy officer and geopolitical scholar Alfred Mahan, who was born in 1840 in a Navy's officer family at West Point, New York. In his whole life, Mahan served in American Navy. He worked as a captain and a fleet commander. It compared to the naval operation, he preferred a study in naval theory. During his research, he concluded that the influence of the sea power on Spain, the British, and France. And in 1890, he published his book and believed who controlled the ocean, and then he controlled the whole world, because the world fortunes and the powers were decided by marine trade, transportation, passage, blockade, overseas base, and colonies expansion. His sea power policy was really influential to American and Japanese Navy establishments. In current world, the argument between the land power and the sea power never stops. The ongoing Russo-Ukraine war occurred exactly at the center of Eurasia, the heartland area. To the west of Ukraine lies the East and Central Europe, in NATO's spheres of influence. To the east, it is Russia, a traditional land power and expansionist. Now we can see the members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization almost covered the Eurasia as a land power theory. Meanwhile, in the western ring of the Pacific, Taiwan Island and Huangyan Dao Island, which is also named the Scarborough Shoal, center U.S. discrepancy about the South Sea sovereignty and innocent passage. America's Indian-Pacific strategy also demonstrates the influence of sea power. Based upon unique geographical location, the different countries may have a different strategy in different time. The West Europe, due to limited territory, sought for overseas colonies very early. Great Britain, as an island country and a deep-rooted imperialist, had kept monopoly over the sea. At the same time, it tried to keep balance on the European continent. Whether who controlled the continent would be Britain's enemy, whether it was Napoleon, Hitler, Stalin, or Putin today. Then France, as a land power in Europe, it fought to grab the overseas colony from Britain. It also prevented the rising power of Austrian-Hungary Empire, the Germans, and the Russians. Germany, as the origin of the two world wars, it faced France in the west, Poland and Russia to the east. Its position in Central Europe made it in a dilemma of two front lines. Poland, though it had been very strong as a Grand Duchy of Poland and Lithuania, yet its position between the rising Prussian Germany and the Soviet Union made it perished for 3 times. Of course, Russia that has vast land. It hoped to merge with the West, also defends from the West. It continued to expand to the east to Asia. Russia has been land power, yet its sea power declined already. Now we turn to Mongolia. When it was strong at the time of Genghis Khan, it conquered Moscow and Ukraine to the west and China to the south. Yet now it is trapped between Russia and China. Japan, as an island country with limited space and resources, it first developed to be a strong sea power and aggressive to take land in Asia and conquer China, yet it failed in the Second World War. India is a very big country in South Asia, with the Indian Ocean to its south. It concerns with both land and sea power. Yet so far, it is only a regional power rather than a global one. Now, China, with its large territory and long coastlines, it gradually becomes a global power on land and also on sea. Yet America, with its unique advantage in geography, it has vast land in North America. It also has the protection of the Atlantic and the Pacific to the east and to the west. It has the cultural heritage from Europe and also a strong hold in the Pacific. As a strong land power, sea power, and a real global power with its military bases over the world. For current situation and national strengths, only China and America can be called global powers on land and on the sea. So China's Belt and Road is only an initiative of economy and trade cooperation, rather than a strategy of global expansion. It is just a feat to the ascendance period of China's power growth, both on the land and the sea. Sure, the land and sea power theory has been over 100 years, yet it is still a real stake in international relations and geopolitics study. With development of science and adjustment of national strategy, the traditional land and sea power has been inadequate. The new rising air and space superiority will play more roles in national power and strategy. Therefore, a nation should go forward with time, not only the Belt and the Road, the land and the sea, but also in the pilgrim progress of space research. Now here comes the end of today's program, and thanks for your watching, and see you next time. Thank you, bye.